G'day guys, and welcome back to the Red Vest podcast. This week, I'm joined by Giants superstar Harry Perryman. We talk with Harry about growing up in Collingwood, which is a small country town outside of Wagga, what it was like moving from country town to the big smoke in Sydney, and also about a few of his funny teammates at the Giants. Hope you guys enjoy this one as much as we did. Appreciate all your support. Cheers. Harry Perryman, welcome to the Red Vest podcast. How are you, mate?
Yeah, going well, mate. Good to be on the show.
Yeah, it's good to have you, mate, and pretty exciting weekend for you. You got a big game tomorrow, but we won't delve too much into that. First of all, as we do with all our guests on the show, we're going to go a bit into your upbringing and how you sort of got to the Giants. Growing up in Collingwood, do you want to talk us through what that was like for you?
Yeah, it's obviously it's a little small town just out of Wagga. There's not much there. It's pretty much just a pub, a footy oval, and a little shop. So and our farms are about probably 15 k's from the town itself. So there's a pretty cruisy lifestyle growing up. You kind of just do not much at all at school during the week, and then go to footy training Tuesday, Thursday night, and then play footy on the weekend, and then have a few beers after the game. So there's a pretty cruisy lifestyle there back at the gully.
Yeah, mate. And I guess, do you want to talk us through how early you got into your footy and how early did you know you thought, oh, geez, I got a real chance at making it here? Was it always a dream to play AFL, or did it just sort of come in the way you played your footy?
Yeah, because I've got three other brothers as well, so we kind of we used to play footy flat out back at home on the farm. We used to have goalposts out the back in the paddock, and we used to just run amok out there. So we always played it growing up as kids, and I think I didn't really take footy too serious until probably my 18th year. I thought, I'm not the smartest bloke at school, so I said I might as well have a bit of a go at footy. I also played a fair bit of cricket, so I took that pretty serious. But I just thought I'd have a bit of a crack in my 18th year, and lucky enough to end up at the Giants.
Yeah, definitely. And who actually got in contact with you about being picked up? Did you know early on, or do you just sort of like the process for most people? Some of them don't even find out till the day, or did you know pretty early on?
Yeah, because I was part of the Giants Academy, so I'd been talking to them a bit, but they didn't really give much away. So I was actually a mad Collingwood supporter, so
Far out.
I was hanging on. I was hoping that Dad might have picked me up, but I didn't get to speak to them at all. So I was happy to come up here to the Giants, and I obviously knew a fair few boys up here as well, because they're a lot of them are from back home in the Riverina. So it was good to just get up here and get away from the cold.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And pick 14 in 2016. Another man who I think went at a similar time, man from your hometown, Matty Kennedy. Do you want to talk us through how you sort of know him? And are you guys actually from the same hometown?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, he's we played footy growing up all together at Collingwood, and his farm's not far from our farm, so we're kind of neighbours, just a fair distance away from each other on the farm. So
Jeez.
whenever he's home, we always catch up. He comes around to our place, we go shooting together, and we hang out a fair bit in the off season and that. And we were lucky enough to win two senior premierships together at Collingwood, which were definitely good memories.
Yeah, 100%. Did you play senior footy early as well, or were you just you would have been probably 16, 17?
Yeah. I think I won. Well, we won back to back when I think I might have been 15 and then 16.
Far out.
So and then he was a year older than me, so we definitely learned a few things in the celebrations, and that's for sure.
100%, mate. And country footy's pretty, I guess, known as in the city leagues. A country is referred to as pretty hard footy, but also good footy. I guess we saw on the weekend you copped a fair whack, mate, from old Brad Ebert. When you were like 15, 16 playing in the seniors, were you toughened up pretty early on, or was it always pretty clean game?
We used to come up against some pretty rough sides back at home. I remember they used to always try and rough up Matty Kennedy, so I was kind of the lucky one. I just kind of ran around, didn't get touched much, but Yeah, it was a pretty tough comp. It's kind of pretty contested, and you don't really get much free ball. So I think it's good when you're growing up. You kind of play against men, and I think it helps you in the long run.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And obviously, moving from Collingwood over to the Giants, do you want to talk us through your move up to Sydney? How you settled in your draft year, and yeah, what you got up to, mate?
Yeah, it was obviously it was a pretty big move coming up here. I didn't really know what to expect in the first year, but coming from the farm, I moved straight into a little 2-bedroom apartment in Sydney. So
Oh
that was
boy.
obviously a bit of a shock at that start. But yeah, once you start making a few mates and that, we obviously do a fair bit of fishing and golf, and every now and then, if we get a bit of time, we go for a camp. A few of us, we just take the swags out and do a bit of camping every now and then, and have a few beers around the fire when we can. So it's obviously good to just get away and do that, and whenever I can, I always get back to the farm as well. So it's always good to get back there.
Yeah, for sure. Jezza Cameron pretty keen on his camping and fishing, isn't he?
Yeah, he loves it. He's just that fixated on the boat, on fishing at the moment. So
Yeah.
he doesn't really do much else except for fish.
Yeah, mate. And you speak about moving into that little 2-bedroom apartment. Did you have to move in on your own, or did you have a roommate?
Yeah, I moved in with Isaac Cumming. He's from Broken Hill, so we kind of grew up playing footy together as well in rep teams and that. So yeah, we had a little 2-bedroom apartment. But the one good thing was we weren't far from the pub, the Palace Hotel. So we usually just go there after a game and just end up stumbling back into the apartment.
Yeah, just quietly.
Yeah,
You talk about moving up to Sydney, obviously at the Giants again. Your debut came pretty early on in your career. Only 9 weeks into your first season, you played against pretty hot Richmond side in 2017. I believe it was a game that they dropped two in 2 weeks by under 5 or 6 points. Do you want to talk us through your debut game, the hype up to it, and was it a bit of a pinch me moment for you, mate?
yeah, it definitely was. I remember, finding out that I was playing. It actually worked pretty well because the footy club back home had a bye that weekend. So
Ah,
I think I reckon they had a
hometown.
bus come up and they had everyone coming up. So it was obviously a good game. We got the win, and I remember not touching the ball at all. I remember thinking this is on way out of my depth here out there, but you slowly work your way into it, and then yeah, we definitely had a good night that night. That's for sure. A lot of the boys hadn't really been up to Sydney much, so kind of took them out and she was a
Showed
late
him,
one. That's for
showed him
sure.
the ropes around
Yeah,
the big smoke.
showed them around.
That's the way, mate. And talking about characters at the club, obviously coming from a small country town, you wouldn't have known many of the boys, many of the senior boys at the footy club. Do you want to talk us through a few of the characters down there at the Giants?
Yeah, we've got a fair few actually. Obviously Tommy Sheridan, he's probably right up there as
Old
probably the
horse teeth.
biggest character.
Yep.
Biggest character. He's yeah, he can talk a lot of dribble, that bloke. Big. You might not know him, Zach Sproul. He's
Yep.
been here for 4 years. He's probably one of the funniest blokes going around as well. Then there's Heath Shaw. He's probably the biggest character out of everyone. He just says it how it is. So, it's obviously a good mix, and yeah, they're good value to be around.
Yeah, there seems to be quite a few characters in the side. Um, you probably get asked this 1,000 times by probably your mates or some other people, but Toby Green, we've heard Toby's quite the opposite to his on-field antics, which is quite normal. That's a lot of us, but it's known Toby enjoys a cup of tea and reading the paper on his own. Is that
Yeah,
true?
you're not wrong. He loves it. He loves having a little cup of tea and reading the paper. He actually lives with Tommy Sheridan, as you'd probably know. So
Yep.
they're quite opposites, actually. So I reckon Tommy probably drives Toby up the wall every now and then. So but he's good value, Tobes, and everyone loves him. And yeah, if you get to meet the bloke ever, you'll see what he's like.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing I want to go through with you is I always ask people this too: is any pre-game rituals for you, or is there any ones from your teammates that are really funny?
I've actually got none. I
None.
don't really have any
Keep
pre-game
it simple,
rituals
mate.
or anything. I just like to keep it simple. Or
Yeah.
get to the ground, have a little bit of a massage. That's about it. Uh, um, Yeah, I can't think of much that I have, but I know a lot of the boys they'd have some weird things they do. I don't really take much notice of them. I just let them do their thing, and if it works for them, well, good on them.
No, mate, that's it. And obviously, 2019 grand final wasn't the result Giants fans were hoping for, or the Giants in general. What was the population of your hometown, Colin Gully? What was the
I
population?
think I think it's like might be 200.
Around 200, right? So
Yep.
you've gone from 200 people in your hometown to playing in front of 100,000 people at the MCG. The grand final, do you want to talk about the experience and the lead up? And was it yeah, can you just talk us through it? Because
Yeah.
obviously most of us wouldn't know what it's like.
Yeah, it's absolutely unreal week. That I think we had a couple of good weeks leading into it. We had a fair bit of momentum up, and all the boys were up and about. It was a massive week, the whole week, and you got the grand final parade was just unbelievable. And then the crowd's obviously massive, but yeah, we had a bit of a shocker that day that the result wasn't great, but it was obviously a great experience, and you just want to experience it again. That's how good it was, and
Yeah.
I remember kind of that week after it, we pretty much drank all week and just drowned in our sorrow. So it didn't really sink in until a couple of weeks after that we played in the grand final. But it just been an unreal experience to win one, like, let alone playing one. To win one would just be unreal.
Yeah, for sure, mate. And I guess you guys have sort of responded this year in terms of in terms of a couple of good wins. Round one was obviously a very good win for the club and for you especially, mate. Kicking four and having a day out. Um, I guess this year, what are you guys looking to do? It's such a challenging time for everyone. In particular, the AFL has been a lot of question marks and asterisks put on the premiership, I guess, or the final series. Is it still a clear goal for the club to succeed this year?
Yeah, definitely. I think we had a good win in round one, and since we've come back from the Corona break, we've been pretty average. I reckon we've dropped some couple of easy games, and we've been playing pretty ordinary footy, but I think we haven't been losing by much. So if we can just get a bit of a roll on, and like you said, this year's a lot different to every other year. We never really know where we'll be or who we'll be playing against. You just got to roll with it, and yeah, hopefully we can just be there again towards the back end of the year.
Yeah, for sure, mate, and definitely all the best on behalf of the podcast, mate. We'd love to see you boys get back up there. Now, I want to talk a bit of the off-field stuff. You're known to love your golf. How do you go? Are you any good, or do you just love having a hit?
Oh, I'm pretty average, to be honest. I've got all the gear, got all the clubs, and I've got all the kit and everything. But no, I think I'm slowly getting there. I need to get a handicap. I need to get one of them, and then I'll be able to see where I'm at.
Yeah, definitely. Is there a couple of boys at the club that are probably up there with pretty good skill, or is there some average ones that play as well?
Yeah, the average ones don't usually play very often, but there's a fair few of us that play. I live with Brent Daniels as well. He's not a bad little golfer. He's a left-hander as well as me, so we play a fair bit together. And Jezza Cameron, if he's not on the fishing boat, he's not a bad golfer as well. He's one of them blokes that he's pretty good at everything. So no,
Yeah,
there's a fair few of us that like to have a whack.
definitely. And talking about golf, obviously a few weeks ago, the AFL restrictions, you were allowed to go out and play golf again. Um, did you go? You guys went into a hub for like a week or so, didn't you? A couple of days.
No, we haven't done anything yet.
You've been fly in, fly out, haven't you?
We've just been flying in and out. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we've been pretty lucky that way.
Well, we haven't really had a insight like this on the show before. We had Tommy, but he's bloody barely gets a game, so we can't ask
Yeah.
him too much about it. I guess I want to ask you about the routine for a week in your shoes during the pandemic as a footballer in a game week. Let's say, what do you do throughout the week with the club?
Yep. Yeah. So obviously we play tomorrow. We had a bit of a captain's run this morning. Have the arvo off, and then Thursday we had our main session. So it was pretty cruisy because we were coming off a 6-day break. Wednesday we just did. Can't even remember. We did bit of massage, physio, and we do plenty of meetings, especially after a loss. You're always doing meetings. and then we had Monday off because we played on the Sunday last week, and then Tuesday's just a small little session just to tick the legs over. So that's kind of just a normal week, and then we try and fit in a bit of golf in between then and go for a bit of a fish. So yeah, it's obviously it goes pretty quick the weeks.
Yeah, what's it like up in Sydney at the moment? It's not too obviously down here. We're pretty stuck indoors. What's it like up there? He's in some sort of lockdown at all?
Yeah. Well, the normal public they're kind of, I'm not too sure. They're pretty much back to normal. They've obviously got a few little restrictions, but us as players, we kind of can't do much. We got to we can obviously play golf and go fishing, but we've got to get takeaway and kind of all them things. So I've been trying to do a bit of cooking, but haven't really done much of that lately. But yeah, I think we'll just do whatever the AFL wants us to do, and just as long as we're playing footy on the weekend, I'm not too fast.
No, 100%. Seem like quite the relaxed character. Talking about playing against some pretty good oppositions, obviously growing up as a Collingwood supporter, is there someone you always look forward to playing on, or someone that always, I guess, gives you a hard time out on the field?
Yeah, obviously, I love playing against Collingwood. I reckon you got some gun players in there, Pendlebury and Sidebottom and all that, and I think you just want to test yourself against them good players and see how they go about it. Who else? Yeah, that's probably the main one. I love playing against the team I used to go for.
Yeah, for sure. And that was actually we got a question of the week here from one of the fans, and their question was your favourite team to play against. So is that the answer, Collingwood, favourite team to play
Yeah,
against?
it'd be the Pies. Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
lock that in, mate. And I guess one of the other questions on here was someone said, how are you feeling after that hit from Brad Ebert on the weekend?
Yeah, obviously, I didn't really see it coming at all. I was just going for the ball, and Toby looped the handball up and got me. Got absolutely nailed. But yeah, I was a bit rattled. I think after it, I didn't really. I was kind of running around like a bit of a headless chook there for a while. But I think when quarter time came around, I was back to normal, and yeah, I was pretty fine. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. And like I mentioned to you before the show a couple of days ago, we always have a big segment on here about people copying a spray or giving out a spray to a teammate. Is there any sprays you can tell us about from your AFL career?
Yeah, I've actually been pretty lucky. I haven't really copped any yet. I usually hide at the back of the group, so that's probably the smartest thing. But we at our local club back at Collingwood in the seniors, we used to have a coach called Shane Lennon. You've probably seen him doing. He's on YouTube a fair bit. He does his
Is that bloke?
pump ups.
Yeah.
I played all my footy under him growing up. So if you ever want to do yourself a favour, type in Shane Lennon on YouTube, and you'll see plenty of videos.
Right, I will give that a go, mate. And did he give you a fair few? Did he give you any?
Yeah, he'd mainly just pump you up. They're just mainly just pump up ones, but he never really dished out many sprays.
No, mate. What about Leon Cameron? What's he like as a coach? Is he pretty? He looks pretty cool, calm, collected. But has he got an angry side to him?
Yeah, he definitely does fire up. He looks pretty cool, calm, and collected. But once he gets fired up, he can get pretty worked up. But he's a good fellow, Leon, and yeah, all the boys get along with him really well.
Yeah, and I want to talk with you about past teammates from the Giants, some that may not be there anymore. One guy in particular, a big inspiration for us to get our podcast going, old Dylan Buckley. Did you have much to do with Dill at all?
Dill. I think I played with him for two. I had 2 years with Dill Buckley. Yeah, he was great. He was great value around the change rooms, that's for sure. He didn't play much footy when he was up here, but he's a legend, Bucks, and he's doing pretty well down there in Melbourne with his podcast and that. So
Bloody oath he is.
I think a lot of the boys miss him around the change rooms. He was always doing some stupid stuff, which was pretty funny.
Definitely. And one last thing before I let you go, mate. I want to ask you what you're looking forward to for the rest of the year, and how you think you guys will go overall.
Yeah, it'd be good to just obviously get a few more wins on the board. I think we've started pretty slowly since the break. I think we can if we can get a good bit of momentum up, and doesn't matter where we kind of play or where we end up. I think the boys are happy to go wherever, as long as we're playing good footy. And we can match it against them top sides, and hopefully be back around the mark again would be great, because it's obviously unreal experience playing finals footy and being on the big stage.
For sure, mate. And Harry, thanks so much for your time today, mate. Really appreciate it. All the best for the rest of the year, and hopefully you get a few more good games under your belt and go the Giants.
Cheers, legend. Thanks.
Thank you.